Hello, let's see. I'm actually going to give you a quick little tutorial of how I go about turning the Avis 7640 into a lotto lock. Uh, Different things you're going to need. Of course, you're going to need the key. If you're going to do any undercutting, you're definitely going to need a wheel burr, jeweler's wheel burr. Of course, your pinning tray, tweezers. Uh, right here is a attachment, a drill press attachment for a Dremel tool. Get this back down. Of course, a vise. Uh, let's go ahead and get this thing gutted. I've only cut the plastic off of this, but let's go ahead. This is actually the bitting of the key. It's not too bad, but this key and the pins are not going to be used in this challenge lock. Basically, have now cannibalized two locks for future use. And while we go ahead and take this out right here, get that out, there is a little pin that goes right through here. As a matter of fact, right there it is. It goes in that hole there, so you can, well, actually not that hole, but this hole, and it keeps the shackle in. But see, when you get rid of the the plastic covering, the pin falls out, so you can actually replace your shackle. We don't need this right now. Go ahead and get that out of the way. This is one of those cheap pigs. It's all bent to crap, but for what it's going to work for, what I need is basically to get this out. And see, it didn't really take too much. When I cut the plastic, I cut around these edges here, and as you see the way how it's made, it has a bottom piece that goes over the plastic. They seal it up either by heat or some type of adhesive. But when it comes to gutting these things, this is, like I said, this is actually the fourth one I've gutted. So it's best, as you see, there's already a spring in there. You basically want to put your tweezers down on that, slide that back. It's like when you try to gut, whoop, there went the spring. And it went through one of the holes in the floor, which is okay. Through one of the, on the patio, the porch, whatever, the wood slats. But I've got extra springs from, like I said, I've cannibalized a few of these locks. I'm going to press this down a little bit more if possible, or just scoot this back. Here we go. All right. This is going to be pin number 8. So then we're going to take this out. And what I've learned from each and every one of these, all the drivers up top will be these spools here. You know, nice, good sharp edges here. I'll show you up close. There we go. Bingo. All right. I said I lost one spring. Maybe I'll be able to find it if I look for it and it didn't go through one of the cracks between the boards on the porch. Try not to lose another one. Try not to. Let it come up easy. There we go. So I got extras of these, and I got extra key pins, so I could probably use them a little bit later. I don't know. But, okay. There's another spool and standard key pin. That's basically all the way across the top, and there's going to be nothing but these spools and standard key pins. That's how it's been on each and every one of these I've actually taken apart. I know I'm a little bit off camera, but just for my benefit to keep the springs from jumping out all over the place and losing them. All right. These key pins really don't matter, so basically I'm not going to have them exactly set the way how they came out. Get that spring right there. And get these key pins out. I'm just kind of keeping them in order with this key. And it's about the same situation. If you lose the order, since this is actually sealed with that there, the core, and this right here is your Bible. it is a little bit different while trying to actually create a challenge lock out of it. Your pin diameter is about 2.51 millimeters. That's pretty much the chambers of these. Now, it's a little bit difficult to thread, just for the simple fact that they don't have like a 2.7. You know, it's 2.5, which is too small. So you have to go up to the M3, which it will kind of damage this little separating piece, this little septum in between the chambers. One of them, actually, the date with the 8, I think that was part of a 1, and the one that I wound up threading too deep and got down into the warding and the key pins. I guess when I inserted the key, maybe it could have been the mods, but what I'll do is I will place standard key pins in it and try and see if I have that same problem. Well, either way, the key would get stuck. Either when it would turn, just inserting the key back and forth, it would stay in there. But once I turned it to unlock it, I couldn't get the key back out. And I think it's because I went too deep with the tap. All right, set that right there. Get this little last spring out. Is it going to shoot out? No, it's not. So hopefully I'll find the other one. Now, there's your lock. So there's all your key pins. I'll go ahead and set this one up right here. I'm not worried. We'll spin it around if it needs to be spun. Yeah, it does. And there we go. -1 spring somewhere on the ground or on the porch. Hopefully it's on the porch and I can find it. And if it's on the ground underneath the porch, it's gone. I'm not going to go looking for it. But anyways, now we got this out of the way. So let me set these over here out of the way. So now it brings us to your lock set right here. Of course, is your Bible, and there's your plug. I recommend actually undercutting, and it's a little tricky because what you try to do is get a pair of calipers and you measure the width of your burr right there. And I think this one is like 0.61. That's it, millimeters. We put it in there. And I'm just trying to get this thing situated where you're going to see the process of doing the undercutting on this thing. Make sure it's good and flat on the. I'm going to bring this up. She's good and flat and tighten down. This you will need your key for, and I'll show you why. Because when you set up, we're just going to go, just for showing, since this is going to be a second try at another one of these challenge locks. This is actually be the 4th victim. We're just going to put it on chamber 7 right here, just to give you an idea. What I want to do is put the key in, turn the core. Actually, before I do that, get this loose. Just lined up on the we'll go chamber 6. Forget it. We'll go right here, and we'll get that squared up to where it's pretty much close. And what I want to do is twist it so it sits on that core. Now we're there at that core, and see, when you turn it back and forth, it's not caught. But then when you turn it and you try to push down, it goes nowhere. It's she's good and solid. So the trick is to get it probably 1.1 millimeter to drop down. And once you get that 1.1 or 1 millimeter to drop down before it stops, you turn your core to where, let's see, we'll come right here, to where your wheel burr is inside the plug. It's at the right depth that you want it. Then you cut it on. Once you cut it on, you take a key and turn it, bring it back, turn it off, raise it back up, and move on to the next chamber. Say it was 7. We're right here at 8. I don't have that tight, so that right there just fell down. But at least that gives you an idea how to undercut. Then once you undercut the chambers that you want to undercut, it's tricky because before you actually do that, if you want to know if some of these pins are 0 lift, you put the key pin in its right position, and you put your one of your spool drivers, and you just try to see just a little bit where you can try to turn the lock to see if it's going to turn or not. If it doesn't turn, but if it's like I said, a bigger key pin, I wouldn't try really doing a lot of undercutting on it. You know, you'd probably better just doing some threading. But now with this, you're only going to be able to undercut on the left side of the plug because it doesn't turn both ways. It only goes that one way to unlock the lock. But that's pretty much how to do the undercutting. It takes some time, so you're probably going to make a few mishaps along the way, but it's a learning experience. So I recommend have you a few of these actually handy. I was trying to think of where I got them from, and I can't. Not at the moment. But anyways, you can actually find them. There's like a few other places, but there's one place like the Safety Station, I think is what it is. Actually have the best prices, and you don't have to spend like $50-$60 for shipping. And it's quite reasonable place, and it only comes in the red, so you don't get your choices of the colors. Now, after you get done with this, since the pins are like 2.51 or 2.5, depending, in diameter, you have to use, like I said, a 3 millimeter tapping. And you got to be careful because, like I said, you'll wind up doing like I did, and which will mess up the lock, and you have to start over like I'm having to do here on this. I've got the pins made, got the key. I'm going to reuse those, and that's basically pretty much about it. But when you know, if you want to go with just the chamber and not the plug, you can do that fairly easy by monitoring the keyway. But as you get more chambers back, I would recommend keeping a little light so you can see, and you can kind of feel a difference when it goes to the plug. But when you get through the plug, it gets a little tricky because when you get that keyway, the last one, it didn't behave the way that the one date with an 8 behaved, and it would make like a squeaky noise when and it would get real. It would actually get a little stiff to turn, but then it'd free up a little bit after the squeaking was gone, because that means I was through the plug to where I was at the end of the chamber, and I wasn't going into the warding of the keyway. And I suspect that's why I'm having problems with the other one. But that pretty much, you know, is about it. You know, as far as you get your key pins in, of course, you put your all your pins in, your springs. Use your tweezer with the little slat. Push it back on so your spring don't go jumping around. Bend pin number 1 and pin number 8 towards the shackle. That's the way how I do these things. I hope this helps. Good luck. And like I said, I'm not a master at this. I'm still always learning on making challenge locks, and some of these things I just don't know what's going on until I finally figure it out. But I hope this helps. And if you ever decide you want to make a challenge lock out of your 8-pin lotto lot by Avis, you pretty much have an idea of what to do now. Well, anybody, I hope y'all take care and this helps. Have a great day. Bye.